SAS interview question and answer. Question number 86. This is a sample project question. Sample project 1. In this project, we use test underscore data, which is included in Excel dataset. Excel sheet name is store underscore data. There are three major tasks. Number 1. Consider variable order underscore date is the date of order placed. Write a macro that will display the report for all the sales conducted on daily basis. This task is asking that create a macro and provide a certain date so that it can display all sales conducted by on that specific date. Number 2, consider same dataset, that is test underscore data. Write a macro to get summarized report on any particular year. That means we can get the summarized data in case of numeric variable. It is asking for write a macro code so that when we provide certain year, that will display the summarized summary of the data for that year. Number 3, that means the third task, consider the same data set, that is the test underscore data. You have three types of order. That is, order types are 1, 2, and 3 for each order placed. And you have another variable quantity having the total number of quantities ordered for each order. Then our task is write a macro code to display the frequency of quantity ordered for given order type in any particular year. That means we have to write a macro code so that we can provide year and order type so that it can create a frequency table for quantities for that year and for that specific order. Before going through the actual task, first of all we have to import the data. That means import Excel dataset into SAS environment so that we can work on it. First step is identify the path of the dataset. This is the store underscore data. First of all, identify its path. Go to properties and location and copy this path first. The next step is let me start with proc import procedure so that we can import Excel data into SAS platform. Start with proc import data file. We have already copied folder location. That's why we just paste it here. This is the file name is store underscore data. This is the folder location. Next one, we have to provide output file name. Output file name is here business data. Next, what type of the database is this? DBMS. This data is XLSX. So we use here replace option. So that if same name of the data set already existed there, then old data will replace by new data. Next step, we use here sheet name because Excel file it may have more than one sheet. In this example, we are going to import the data from certain sheet. Its name is test underscore data. That's why we have to provide the sheet name. Sheet name is here test underscore data. Next option we use here get names. Get names is yes. That means first row of the given data set it has variable name and we are going to import those variable names as well. Finally, we provide raw. When we run this import code, then it will import dataset with the output data SAS dataset business underscore data. In this code, we have not provided here library name. That's why it will store in work library, which is temporary. Let me run this code and observe the result. This is the SAS dataset. This dataset has total 1024 records and 8 variables. Let me check with the work library. This is the work library. It has a business data. This is the same data we have imported. Let me go through the code again. The next step is further understanding the data. That means we are going to understand volume of the data, whether it has duplicated data or not, how many variables are there, what type of the variables are there, how many value of the numeric variables are missing, how many records of character variables are missing. Those information we have to understand first. That's why, first of all, we use your proc SQL count statement. Proc SQL select count start is total count from we use same data or table name, that means business data. From here and quit. Let me run this first code. It will display total number of records. Let me run this code. It has total 1024 records, which we have already known. Next step is how many variables and what are the types of variable and what is its length. To identify the variable name and types, we use here proc contain. Proc contain data, same data we use here, business data. We apply here option bar num so that it will display variable exactly same order as given data set. Otherwise, it will display according to alphabetic order. And run. When we run the second set of code, then it will generate how many variables are there, what type of variables are there, or what is the length of variable. Total 1024, 8 variables. Out of 8 variables, 7 variables are numeric, only 1 variable is character. That means character variable is product underscore ID. Let me go back to the code and try to identify whether this data set has duplicated records or not. To identify the duplicated records, we use your proc sort procedure with the no dupe option. Proc sort data. We use same data, business data, and we provide here output data set name is here distinct. Alright. And again we are going to calculate if there is duplicated records, then how many records are duplicated and what are they? Dupe out. That means this table name is here duplicated record. This table will give the how many records are duplicated. And we apply here no dupe option. by underscore all underscore and run. When we run this third set of code, then we have two tables. One is distinct rec, another one is duplicated rec. Distinct rec table, it will display on their distinct values, distinct rows. And duplicated rec, that table will display these are the records which are duplicated. Let me run this code and observe the result. We have two tables. One is distinct rec, another one is duplicated rec. Distinct rec, this table, it has 624 records. And duplicated rec, it has total 400 records. The total is 1024. Next step, we are going to identify whether this table has included any missing numeric values or not. To identify the missing numeric value, we use here proc means procedure. That's why we use here proc means data. We have same data set, business data. Simply we use here n, total number of records, and n miss, total number of missing records. Because in this project we are not going to analyze the data, we are going to produce the report. That's why we are not going to further analysis. For example, minimum, maximum, outliers, we are not going to calculate. That's why simply we are going to check whether it has missing numeric values or not. Now run. If we do not provide var statement, then by default proc means procedure will display information about the all numeric variables. Let me run third set of code. This is the information we obtain here. The variable name, a total numbers are 1024 for each variable, and n means number of missing records is 0. That means this data set doesn't have any missing value for numeric variables. Next step, how about character variable? Does it include any missing value for character variable or not? To identify missing value for character variable, we use proc freq procedure. Proc freq data business data. We apply here table for all character. We know it has only one character variable, but sometimes we don't know. That's why we have to provide all. That means underscore character underscore character underscore. An option we use here missing, so that if there is a missing value for character variable, then it will display on the percentage, how many percentage of the data are missing, and run. Let me run this fifth set of code. Let's just mistake here. Character. We don't see here missing information. That means product ID is character variable. It doesn't have any missing row. That means this given data set, it doesn't have any missing character variable value. Let me go back to the code. Now, up to now, we are clear that about the given data set, total number of records, total number of variables, what type of the variables, how many records are duplicated, how many records are distinct, whether it has missing numeric value or not, whether it has missing character value or not. After knowing those information, now we are ready to start our task. Let me go through our task. In this task, we are not going to further analysis the data. That means we are going to create a report. That's why we don't have to delete duplicated records. Whatever we have records, just we are going to create report. First, our task is consider variable order date is the date of order placed. Write a macro that will display the report of all the sales conducted on daily basis. That means we have to write the SAS code. When we provide certain date, then it must display sales conducted on that date. Let me start with the percent macro. Percent macro name is sales. And we have to provide here macro variable name. Suppose it is date 1. Next step, we copy SAS dataset. Data. We have business data. Suppose business data 1 is the SAS dataset name. We copy from already imported data, business underscore data. And we use here filter condition for rows. That means where we apply here order date. Order date equal, we provide here ampersand macro variable date 1. Next step is round. We close macro percent m end percent m end. And next step, we recall macro here percent macro name is here sales, and we provide a specific date so that it will display all sales conducted on that date. Suppose we provide here 18 April 2007 is the date we provided here. Let me run first macro code. This is the macro code. It ran successfully without error. Next step, let's recall macro. That means the calling macro by providing 18 April 2007, that is specific day. That means it has displayed here all business data conducted on that date. Order date is here 18 April 2007. If we provide here other day, for example here 18 April 2010, if there is data, then it will display on sales data for that day. We don't have data for that day. Suppose we have here 10th of April. Do we have data? No, we don't. Let me check with the other date. 2009. Do we have data for that day? We don't. Let me check here 18. Do we have data? Then what is wrong? about 7. We have that data, right? Let me go through here 3rd of April 2010, suppose. Do we have data? Yes, we have. We have 2 records. In this way, we can identify business data for that specific day. Let me go through the second task. Second task is consider the same test data. Write a macro to get summarized report on any particular year. That means we have to get or we have to create the report, summarized report for a specific year. Let me start with macro. Start with %macro, and macro name is suppose summary. We create macro variable because we are going to create year wise. That's why macro variable is year 1 semicolon. In this data set, date variables are numeric variable, but we have to display date on date format in summary report. That's why when we use proc means procedure, it will display a numeric value. But when we use proc tabulate, then we can create the report whatever we like. That means we can display report for date variable. We can display in certain format, date format. That's why start with proc tabulate, and data. We have data is here, business data. The next one is we use var variable, but we select variable here because first one is order date, next one is delivery date, next one is order type, next one is quantity, next one is total retail price. We select these all numeric variables. Next step, we create table here. Tables. First one is in case of a date variable, order date and delivery date. We are going to identify mean value and max value with format. We use here date 9 format so that it will display 2-digit day, 3 character of month, and 4-digit year. Next one, tables. We use here other numeric variables. Other numeric variables are order type, quantity, and next one is retail price, total retail price. And we are going to create mean value, max value, mean value. That means we are going to display those values here in this report. With format, we get here comma 12.2 with 2 decimal. And next one is we apply the filter condition. Let me use filter condition. Filter condition is where year order date equals to ampersand year 1, where year 1 is macro variable. Next run, close macro, the next one is we are calling macro here, and I am going to provide year 2011. Suppose, let me run macro first. It ran successfully, calling macro by providing year 2011. This is the summary information for year 2011. Order date, max and mean, delivery date, max and mean, quantity, mean, max and mean value, and total retail price, minimum, maximum and mean value. From this report, we get some basic information about the statistics of some numeric variables. Next one is question number 3. That means task number 3. Consider the same data set, test underscore data. You have 3 types of order and variable order type having 1, 2 and 3 for each order placed. There is another variable quantity having the total number of quantities ordered for each order. Write a macro display the frequency of quantity ordered for given order type in any particular year. That means we are going to create a macro which display the frequency table for quantity as given provided by certain year and certain order type. Let me start with macro code. Percent macro first. Percent macro. Macro name is frequency, suppose freq. We have to create here 2 macro variable. One is year, then another one is order type. That's why we use here year 1, and next one is, suppose the next one is simply type, that indicates order type. Next step, let me create the data first. Data, we have here order data, suppose. Order data, and we use from the source data here business data source. And we filter variables. That means we keep only 3 variables here. We can keep only order date, order type, and quantity. That means by using keep and drop option, we can subset variable number. That's why we keep only 3 variables here. We use keep option, and we keep only 3 variables. These 3 variables are order date, order type, and quantities. Next one is we apply here where condition. That means filter condition is where We apply here year, order date, that equals to your ampersand year 1, and next condition is again here parenthesis and order type. Order type equals to your ampersand type. Order type is ampersand type semicolon and raw. The next step is we have to create frequency table. That's why proc data, which data we use, whatever we have created here, and table. We create the table in terms of quantity. Table quantity, and we apply here condition, no column, no cumulative, no percentage. Then next one is, it is better to provide the title. Title is here, frequency of quantity placed in this specific year and order type. Frequency of quantity placed in ampersand year and order type. What is the order type? Order type is ampersand type. Let me close this code, run %me. Calling macro here, percent macro is macro name freq. Suppose we are going to provide here date is 2008 and type is 2. Let me run this one. First of all, I'm going to run the macro code. The next one, I'm calling macro here. Let me call this macro. If there's something is wrong, where class, syntax, okay. Let me check that one. Here, YEAR. Then it should work. Let me run this one. Then finally, let me call the macro. This is the frequency table for quantity for a specific year of 2008 and other type 2. In this way, we can solve the given task. First of all, we have to understand the data. After then, we have to go through one by one, step-by-step process to solve the given task. That's all about question number 86. Thank you.